Welcome to today's Explainer. I am so incredibly thrilled you're joining me today because, well, we're diving into something that looks super simple on the surface, but actually hides a profoundly effective psychological toolkit. Today, we're analyzing an excerpt from the classic children's book, The Kissing Hand. But listen, we aren't just doing story time here. We are dissecting the literal anatomy of a coping mechanism. We're going to see exactly how this beautifully crafted little narrative provides a very real, structured, and actionable way to deal with separation anxiety.
So how do we carry the comfort of home into the scary unknown? I want you to think back to a time when you felt incredibly anxious about stepping into a brand new chapter of your life. You know the feeling, right? Maybe it was your first day at a new job, moving to a new city across the country, or literally just stepping onto a stage. That tightening in your chest, that overwhelming urge to just turn around and sprint back to safety? Yeah, that's a purely universal human experience, and it's the exact same feeling our protagonist is battling today. The solution we're going to uncover? It works just as beautifully for us adults as it does for him.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. The Fear of the Unknown.
All right, so here we meet Chester Raccoon. The text tells us exactly where his headspace is. Chester Raccoon stood at the edge of the forest and cried. Just look at the illustration here. It so perfectly captures that profound, heavy distress. His shoulders are slumped over, his little bag is dropped on the ground in total defeat, and he is absolutely paralyzed right at the boundary line between the safety of the forest he knows and the terrifying new world of school. It's such a striking visual representation of what separation anxiety actually looks like when it hits you in the real world, isn't it? You just stop dead in your tracks.
And Chester's plea is just heartbreakingly direct. He tells his mom, "I don't want to go to school. I want to stay home with you." Reading this exact quote from the source, man, it's impossible not to hear the universal hesitation we all face. Yes, it's a childlike fear for sure, but it profoundly mirrors our own adult hesitations. When the pressure is really on, when the environment is entirely new and completely unpredictable, our first instinct is almost always to retreat to our primary source of comfort. And for Chester? Well, that's his mother.
Let's actually break down exactly what Chester is so afraid of losing here. The text lists out his ideal scenario, basically his ultimate comfort zone. He wants to stay home, play with his friends, play with his toys, read his books, and swing on a swing. Now, these aren't just random activities. They are the complete inventory of his known world. And you know what? Anxiety almost always stems from this exact place. The fear of leaving behind the familiar, the predictable, and the safe. He knows exactly how a swing works. He knows how his books end. School is a giant, terrifying blank slate.
Moving on to Section 2, a very old secret.
Okay, here's where the narrative takes a really fascinating turn. Before she even introduces her secret, notice how Miss Raccoon validates his feelings first. The text says she tells him, gently, sometimes we all have to do things we don't want to do, even if they seem strange and scary at first. And that validation, it is absolutely critical. It completely de-escalates the panic. Once that panic is lowered, she strategically sparks his curiosity. She tells him about a very old secret that she learned from her mother, and her mother learned from hers. It's called the kissing hand. Notice how Chester's tears are wiped away in the text, and he suddenly looks interested. She has successfully shifted his brain out of a state of pure fear and right into a state of curiosity. So the crucial point here is how wonderfully actionable this secret is. Miss Raccoon provides a physical, step-by-step mechanism. First, she takes his left hand and spreads his tiny fingers into a fan. Second, leaning forward, she kisses the very middle of his palm. And third, she carefully wraps his fingers around the kiss. This is just brilliant. She has taken a totally abstract concept, a mother's love and comfort, and turning it into a tangible, physical act that creates a portable tool. It's literally an anchor he can physically hold on to.
And the immediate physical and emotional impact of this action is beautifully detailed in the text. I mean, as soon as she performs this mechanism, Chester feels his mother's kiss rush from his hand, up his arm, and into his heart. The text even specifically notes that his silky black mask tingled with a special warmth. This perfectly illustrates how powerful a somatic, physical intervention can be for anxiety. The feeling is so strong, so deeply felt, that it fundamentally alters his entire physiological state.
Now notice the dramatic contrast in Chester's mindset here. On the left, we have where we started, standing at the forest edge, crying, completely and utterly overwhelmed. But on the right, equipped with the kissing hand, his mother tells him exactly what to do when that loneliness creeps back in. She gives him a highly actionable instruction. Whenever you feel lonely, just press your hand to your cheek and think, "Mommy loves you." The panic is entirely replaced with toasty warm thoughts. He now has a strategy. When the negative emotion hits, he has a direct, physical response ready to counter it.
So what are we really talking about here? It's a psychological concept of emotional permanence. Simply put, emotional permanence is the understanding that love and comfort persist even when the physical source of that love is miles away. The kissing hand perfectly embodies this. Ms. Raccoon even addresses the practical fears, playfully teasing him not to lose it, but reassuring him that even when he washes his hands before eating, the kiss will stick. The physical act of the kiss is permanently translated into an enduring feeling of safety that simply cannot be washed away.
Let's move to Section 3 and see how this builds. Love is reciprocal.
Now fully equipped with his newfound armor, Chester is standing in front of his school. He's thoughtful. And then he turns to his mother and just grins. He tells her, "Give me your hand." Chester suddenly realizes that he isn't the only one facing a separation here. His mother is letting him go too. So he takes her hand, unfolds her large, familiar fingers into a fan, and kisses the center of her hand. He gives the secret right back to her. It is an incredible moment of empowerment, where the child, having just learned a coping mechanism, realizes its profound value and immediately shares it to comfort the person he loves most. And this brilliantly illustrates the resolution of the story's core conflict. Just look at these two images side by side. We have the physical separation actually taking place, Chester dancing away and scampering off across a tree limb into the school, while his mother stays behind by the tree. They are no longer in the same physical space, yet they are fundamentally tethered together by this shared emotional tool. The physical distance no longer equates to emotional absence.
The narrative arc concludes perfectly with Ms. Raccoon's own experience of the tool. As the first bell rings and she watches him go, she presses her left hand to her cheek and smiles. The text tells us that the warmth of Chester's kiss fills her heart with special words. Her heart literally sings, "Chester loves you, Chester loves you." She is feeling the exact same warmth, the exact same toasty reassurance that she just gifted to her son. The coping mechanism worked flawlessly in both directions.
So as we wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with a question to really ponder. Who holds your kissing hand today? What are the invisible comforts, those deeply internalized coping mechanisms that you carry with you when you step into the unknown? Because let's face it, we all have to face our own scary forests and our own first days of school, no matter how old we get. Recognizing those portable emotional tools we carry and actually remembering to use them can absolutely make all the difference. Thank you so much for exploring this fascinating topic with me today. Keep seeking out those warm thoughts, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.